The $1,000,000 question surrounding service dogs. What do you need to have your service dog certified to become a service dog? So, there are no legal requirements. The laws have not caught up to service dogs yet, and there is no required certificate or even training to have a service dog. So what that means is that if you need a service dog, it is on you to properly train your dog to become a service dog. Whether that's self-training with YouTube videos or going through a local trainer that knows how to train dogs and you're working with them, or they train the dog for you. But service dogs are allowed in public. They're not ESA, emotional support animals, which are only for home and only dealing with emotional things, not medical things. Service dogs are for public and for medical needs. So your dog has to be properly trained to handle loud noises, public crowds, children, other dogs, noises, food. Your dog, to be a service dog, has to be highly trained. So however you come about that end and have your dog with the correct manners, that's what you're going to have to do to have a service dog. And also the service dog is there for your medical needs. So whatever training you do is going to have to involve training the dog to respond to your medical needs. And that is different for each individual. So the service dogs require a high amount of training to have them properly presented in public. You can tell when people are bringing dogs out in public that are not service dogs because they're not going to be properly behaving. They might be barking. They might be, sniffing and not attentive to their owner. So that's not a service dog. Also, service dogs are not required to even have a vest. It's up to the owner's discretion if they want to tell people with a vest that this is a service dog. So I found for me, having the vest deflected a few questions that, hey, is that a service dog? And technically businesses are only allowed to ask, is this a service dog? And what needs does the service dog provide? They're not allowed to ask medical information. They are not allowed to ask anything like pertaining to your medical information, but they are required to ask or they are allowed to ask, is it a service dog, and what services does your dog provide for you? So that's the lowdown. And there's a lot of people saying, this and that about it, but technically there's no laws or requirements over service dogs. But if the dog's in public and the dog is helping you medically, it's got to be highly trained to be in public and not be a nuisance to the public, and to totally be required for your service dog needs, which is your medical needs. So whatever that is for you in public, and even at home, right? You're gonna train your dog to be attentive with you 24/7. So it's a lot of training that the service dogs need, but there is no physical certificate or requirement for service dogs as of today, 2025. So I hope this helps, and don't forget, PTSD is treatable.